This week, we're all about garlic, a ridiculously easy vegetable to grow. It keeps for ages, and best of all, it's really, really, really good for you.
We're planting spring garlic, which is perfect for sowing in the spring. However, for the best chance of success, plant your garlic before Christmas, as it likes a cold snap and has more time in the ground to grow.
One of my most favourite things to grow, garlic.
Yeah, absolutely, me too. I absolutely love it. It was the first thing I ever grew, and it's just such a simple thing. Like, if you were to sort of script it out, you wouldn't believe it's as easy as it is.
Okay.
So everybody recognises these from the garlic you buy at home. And growing garlic is as simple as taking, you know, one of these little cloves
Nice.
out of a bulb of garlic,
Yeah.
and each one of these turns into one of these.
Marvellous. So really good return
Yeah.
on what you plant and what you can harvest.
Yeah, and it's actually, like, in a relatively small space like this, you could grow, you know, we'll be growing probably about 14 or 15 bulbs of garlic, which is,
Cool.
you know, not a bad return from a very,
Deadly.
very small amount of space. Don't worry about the kind of papery bits or anything like that. It's quite kind of hardy. So you set them out, get all your little cloves apart
Put all
like
your
that,
cloves in a row.
and we put those to the side, right? Back to the spacing is really important with all
my God,
with all
really?
vegetables. Yeah, you know how I love my
I
spacing.
know how
to be
relaxed
absolutely
you
right.
are in your spacing.
So hand me over that.
This trowel.
Yeah, so again, you don't want to get too close to the sides here, give it a bit of space. So there's our row, 30 centimetres apart, second row. Don't need to go too deep, it's just for us to know where we're going to plant them. Within the row, it's 10 centimetres apart.
Okay.
Okay, which is about that.
Okay.
All
like
right.
that. Okay.
Are you okay?
I've
You
got
with
it.
me?
I've got it.
All right, so we'll just place them on the soil to start with. Right, come on, you're slow now, let's go.
Here.
I'd say that's about 12 or 13.
You would say that.
The act of sowing garlic is as simple as pushing it down into the soil so that the tip is about a couple of centimetres below the surface of the soil, yeah?
Oh, nice.
Easy.
Easy.
Very satisfying stuff as well.
Oh. So do I leave this peeking through?
No,
Oh, gee.
you weren't listening. I said a couple of centimetres below the surface of the soil.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Into the soil, each one of them down like that. And that little tip is gonna sprout and turn into it'll be up about that high.
Okay.
And then underneath the ground, all the good stuff is happening, and it's turning into a bulb of garlic.
Okay, good. So that's them all
Nice
planted.
job.
Job done.
One more thing, very important, always put a label down because you will not remember where you've put what a little bit later. So
Oh, like my car keys.
what you sowed and the date you sowed it on, so if you need to reference back to it, you can.
Okay.
So, now job done.
Now job done.
Six weeks later and the garlic is coming on nicely. It doesn't need much attention, just try to keep the bed free from weeds, and you only need to water if the soil gets really dry.
This is exactly the time when I first grew garlic that I had convinced myself that I had totally killed it.
Me too.
And I was a useless grower.
I did exactly the same thing. And actually, garlic's way of, like, how you know garlic is ready is that the plant goes kind of yellow, then brown, then kind of almost falls over. And I was the same as you. I thought it was dead and I went to throw it out on the compost heap. But actually what's happening is a kind of a tug of war now between the plant and the bulb, which is underneath, starting to form underneath the soil, and it's pulling all the nutrients down out of here into here. So that's exactly what you want to happen.
Yeah, so this is the way it's meant to be right now.
Yeah.
And what do you reckon, Mick? Another 3 or 4 weeks before effectively this completely withers and dies down?
Yeah, like the classic with garlic is that it's before the longest day of the year, it's generally ready. So end of June kind of time frame.
Okay.
So this is not quite,
fair
so
enough.
you know it's ready when it's kind of gone completely brown.
Yeah.
And that's the point at which you can kind of harvest it. So this doesn't need anything doing, just left alone for another couple of weeks.
So again, like a really easy veg to grow, low maintenance, doesn't need feeding, nothing, just let it off to do its thing.
Exactly, really, really straightforward.
It's finally harvest day. I'm so excited, and all I want to do is pull them out of the ground. But as usual, Mick is spoiling the fun by telling me exactly what to do.
One important thing just to mention is that you don't just take it and grab it like that, because what we want to do, and I'll explain why in a second, is keep all of this together, basically. So you ease it out with a trowel from underneath, basically, and you hope for the best that you've got a decent bulb of garlic, which we actually do, is not too bad at all.
Oh, nice.
Which is
Oh, the
good.
smell already. Whew.
There's a beautiful smell, which is part of the joy. We've talked about the fact that in a relatively small space, we've got, you know, a decent crop of garlic. The
Yeah.
reason, you know, that we don't cut the stems off, right, is that we want to store these. So you know the lovely garlic braids that you see.
Yeah, synonymous with France.
Yes. So this garlic will keep for 4 to 6 months, no problem at all. If you want to store it, if you want to hang it up in a braid in the kitchen or whatever, you need to dry it out a little bit because there's a huge amount of moisture in here, particularly in the stems and stuff like that still, and it'll rot in storage basically really easy.
So like in a shed, or does it need to go into the airing press?
I'd be putting these, you know, on a wire rack or a shelf somewhere, you know, either in your greenhouse, conservatory, your garage, anywhere out of the rain basically, and dry them for about 2 weeks, and you'll see these, you know, all the greenness basically will go out of these, and then you can put them in you're ready to braid them.
Yeah.
And somebody knows how to braid hair. If you've braided hair, you can braid garlic.
Plait of garlic.
Yeah.
Cool.